Can you all hear me? Hello, if you can. I don't know if the stream's gonna work properly or not. This is, they just changed the new settings, so I'm not sure how the streaming works. I finally figured it out. Thank you, Loza. What's up? Welcome to the chat, and I appreciate that $1.99 super chat. So yeah, I'm hoping this is working. I don't know. It shows skipped frames. I don't know. We'll find out. I'm in my recording area in the closet, as the title says. And I'm trying out a new laptop that Lord of Shower got me. Thank you, Lord of Shower, by the way. I see him in the chat now. Make it work. Yeah, I'm trying. It took me forever just to find the live settings on YouTube because of their new analytics changes. And, yeah, I'm in my closet right now, so hopefully the stream goes well because it would be cool to actually stream in my recording area occasionally. So. Thank you again, Lord of Shower. I really do appreciate it. This thing's awesome. And the wireless connection is amazing. Camille's like, I'm essential, so I can't hide. Yeah, for all of you out there, make sure you just stay safe, you know? I got this thing to check it out. Hold on, put me on cam with it real quick. Giant face mask in my closet. Make sure I don't get corona. Just wear that shit all day. Yeah, that's one of my masks. I've had a couple of them for over a year now, just because of other reasons. So, yeah. Yeah, much love again, Lord of Shower. I appreciate it, dude. Satan, what's up, dude? I saw your name fly by. Hillary D's like, too drunk for this shit. I ate an edible like 15-20 minutes ago. About 75 milligrams. I didn't eat my full cookie because I want a little bit for later. But, yeah, I got a beer in front of me. I have an energy drink in front of me and a glass of water and a bowl of stuff. But I hope everyone's staying safe out there, for sure. Stay inside if you can. If not, make sure you're taking the proper precautions. Wash your hands, all that good stuff. Because a lot of people are nasty, so yeah. Sydney, thank you so much for that super sticker. Oh, it's so cute. That mask doesn't work for that stuff. Yes, it does, Laura. Yeah, it does. Whenever you're hearing that it doesn't, that's bullshit. That's why your hospitals need it. And besides, that's not even an N95. That's a P95. So that's even better than the one that the CDC recommends. But yeah, it works. People will start arguing and be like, well, the coronavirus is only this thickness, blah, blah, blah. But you got to understand that the virus attaches to water vapors. So once it's on the water vapor, it's not going to fit through the filter. So it will work, contrary to popular conspiracy theories. Hence why the hospitals want them so bad. Sounds good, Lord of Shower. Thank you, dude. I'm glad it's working. Cool. I was afraid it was going to cut out and everything, so I'm glad it's working. Loza, thank you again. Says, sorry, I missed your last stream. Hey, it's all right. My streams are usually pretty impromptu. The only ones who knew about this were the people in the Patron Discord. I didn't tell anyone else. Oh. Unique Leo, thank you so much. I hope you're having a wonderful day and doing at least what you can during this interesting time. Satan says, just got here and now I gotta go eat supper. Well, you enjoy your supper. You can always save this link and go back and watch it later, so. Okay, I'm gonna open my beer and then I'll read a story. I found a story that's new. I haven't really read it, but it was on 4 hours ago and it was upvoted pretty damn high, and I honestly have not read a story in a long time, so I think that sounds good. But I want to drink some of my beer. 1 second. Moises says, will latex gloves work? Here's the thing. You're not going to absorb a disease through, not this virus through your hands. There are things you can absorb through your hands, but this virus won't get absorbed through your hands. So save your gloves for when you're putting your mask on and taking your mask off. And that's going to be your best bet. You don't need necessarily gloves when you're going out. I wear a glove when I'm pumping my gas. I just put a glove on, just for ease type of thing. But you can, I drive around with sanitizer in my... I haven't bought any sanitizer since this whole ordeal happened because I have so much sanitizer anyways, because we have guinea pigs and they're very susceptible to a lot of things, so my hands are always sanitized long before this. I bring sanitization Lysol wipes to the stores all the time before this as well, so this is really nothing too different for me because I've always been very cautious with my pre-existing conditions and whatnot. It's been probably like 7 years since I've been sick now, so I think I'm doing pretty well. What kind of beer? It's Miller High Life. It was the beer I used to drink before Corona, but now with the coronavirus going on, I don't want to get... That's a joke. I know the beer is not the virus, but yeah, I ended up just getting Miller this time. It was like $6 for a 12-pack. I was like, yeah. Key to the TWD, what can you do to make symptoms less irritating? I don't know, dude. Like, this is all so new to everyone. Like, I just know the basics because in the military, you learn basics about chemicals and that kind of shit, you know? That's why a lot of people are like, the military's not equipped to handle going out and doing this. I was like, bro, like, the military's the one you want out there. When you're in, everyone is given a mask and a full mop gear. So essentially a full plastic bodysuit with big rubber boots that go on over your boots. Like, their masks are so nice that they even have a canteen adapter. So you can just plug your canteen right into your mask, your prone mask, and you don't even have to take it off. So, but yeah, I honestly, I'm not a doctor, so I don't know what can alleviate symptoms or any of that. I just know how to avoid getting sick. And that's pretty much all I concentrate on because that's your best system is try to avoid it to begin with. What's up, Alexa? Good to see you. Good to see you. Aw, Wendy G, thank you so much. Says cheers. Cheers right back to you. All right, I'll take another sip and then we'll get into a story. What's up, Edwina in Tucson? Much love from Lake Havasu. Yeah, we just got our Governor Ducey just put out the stay-at-home order earlier today. It'll get implemented tomorrow at 5 p.m. So everyone in Arizona, make sure you get ready. All right, so this story was submitted on Let's Not Meet by Blading Beastie. And they submitted it like 5 hours ago. And someone actually gave them money because they enjoyed the story so much. They got a silver award. And it's got like 400 upvotes. So we'll see how good this is. And it's called House Sitting Gone Wrong. This happened 2 summers ago while I was house sitting out in California for an older couple I had met at a conference for work. It had seemed like a dream scenario. The couple wanted a vacation in Hawaii for 2 weeks, but didn't want to board their cats, and I had been chatting with them about wanting to visit California again, where they happened to live, because I had loved it the first time I went, and we figured that we could mutually benefit each other if I came out and house sit for them. It's been a while since I've read. So I flew out there, and they showed me around for a few days, taught me how to take care of their cats, 2 of them. One of them was extremely shy, and I barely saw them, which is important later. And their plans gave me access to their house and cars. These people were so generous. And before I knew it, I dropped them off at the airport, and I was on my own. At first, it really was a dream vacation. I was staying in Oakland and making forays in San Fran, Sonoma, Monterey. In the mornings, I would walk out the front door and shortly be hiking the paths surrounding nearby Mount Diablo. And I was just ultra content with the world. I was so enamored by the area that I had actually started looking into taking some steps to relocate out there. But then one day, about halfway through my final week there, when I got back to the house, I felt really odd, almost like I shouldn't go inside. I shook it off and went inside anyway, because it was getting late and I needed to put out the dinner for the cats. Once inside, I forced myself to ignore how off I felt. And I made some food for myself, went to bed, and was shocked to find the shy cat hiding under the bed and crying. This was the first time I had ever seen her up close. The entire time I had been there up to that point, she never left my host's bedroom until she realized I was around. She never left my host's bedroom unless she didn't realize I was around. Again, I ignored feeling weird and just assumed she had decided it was okay and went to bed. I did start locking my bedroom door that night, though. I also remember that about halfway through that night, I had heard someone walking outside in the gravel outside of the window. But after listening for a bit, I didn't hear anything else and went back to sleep. The day after in the morning, I still felt odd, but kept up with my plans for the day. I drove out to a music festival in Sonoma and went clothes shopping and had an overall great day. When I got back to the house, though, I found the front door locked in a way I hadn't left it. Basically, my host never locked the deadbolt, only the lower second lock, and that's the only lick my key worked on, so I never messed with the deadbolt. But it was definitely locked. So I had to call my hosts and find the hide key, which to their credit, safety-wise, was buried in a whole foot underneath a bush outside and had definitely not been unearthed for a long time. So I used that, went inside, and kept the key with me just in case it happened again. And it did, but with a different door. This time I had stepped out into the garage to get a drink, and when I turned around to go back into the house, the door was shut and locked. I could use my normal key on that door, but I was still pretty bewildered. My own cats are whack, so I thought in my mind I was trying to come up with a way the cats could have locked me out of the house. But I was coming up empty. I decided I must have misunderstood how the locks worked and just wrote it off and started checking and triple-checking locks when I went out of the house or into the garage. That night when I went to bed, that really awful feeling of unease was still there, and so was the shy cat who was clearly unhappy to see me but also wouldn't leave my room. But again, I just locked my bedroom door and went to sleep. The next morning I felt awful. Nausea, body ache. I had no desire to leave the house, so I decided to stay in and Netflix for a day. This vacation was for like 2 weeks, so I just didn't feel like I was in a hurry to get my touristy things in, anyway. But as the day went on, I started to feel that feeling of wrongness again, and it morphed into a feeling of incredibly being watched. Around mid-afternoon, I got to the point where I was so uneasy, that even feeling awful, I decided to get out of the house for a bit to shake it off. I was getting a bit low on food, so I went to the grocery store and bought a couple food items that I didn't think would hurt my stomach, and as I started to leave the checkout, the cashier said the generic, "Have a great evening." And I just instantly started crying, shocking myself and the poor cashier. But I just had this intrusive thought that, you might be the last person to ever say that to me. When I got to the car, I was still crying, and my entire body was telling me not to drive back to the house. I couldn't not, though, because I didn't want to neglect the cats, so I drove back, parked in the driveway, and convinced myself after about an hour just to open the front door. Once I did that, I thought I would get over it and be able to go in and feed the cats, and that maybe I'd get a hotel room after. But my body physically would not let me inside. It was like I was stuck in the entryway. I then made a deal with myself. I would yell into the house saying I had already called the police and that they were on their way. In panic logic, I figured that would make anyone in the house leave. So I faced the inside of the house, looking down the hallway towards the bedrooms, and I did just that. The second I had finished saying, "They're almost here, so if you want to avoid being arrested, you need to leave now," the lights in my host's room turned on and I heard some banging. I immediately hightailed it back to the car, called the police for real, and proceeded to have a mental breakdown while talking to the dispatcher. Once they got there, they checked the house and didn't find anyone. But the double doors of my host's bedroom were left wide open. I'm so glad that the cats didn't get out. And there was a pile of food wrappers in the corner behind the blinds, so they said it looked like someone had been there. What makes it so scary to me is that nothing was taken, and that based on the shape of the house, that would have been the perfect vantage point to see me in the living room as I stayed home sick. To explain this, there was a shape of an L in the house from windows into the garden, and where in my host's bedroom you could see into the living room windows. Also, the minute the police were gone, they said they couldn't prove anyone was there, and there were no signs of forced entry, and we couldn't get a hold of the hosts immediately to verify if anything had been taken, etc. Which, once they got back, they verified nothing had been taken. So they said they'd patrol a bit, but nothing else. The shy cat was right back in my host's bedroom, and I didn't see her again until I left to go back home. So basically, I think the intruder had been there at least 2 days, forcing her to choose between two strangers and leading her to choose the one that was at least a little less strange. Me. I messed up. It messed me up pretty bad, especially because they didn't catch the person and didn't seem to have any desire to look. And I still had to stay in that house for the next 3 days. Nothing else odd happened, and I didn't feel anything off for the rest of the time I was there. But the damage was done. I've never felt completely safe in a home without doing a complete search before bed since. But I am extremely glad my gut spoke up. I guess I'd rather have some residual anxiety than be dead. So whoever was in my host's house watching me, let's please never meet. Bitch. Loza, thank you so much. Says, I have that mask yet again. I'm in the Navy. Oh, nice. Hell yeah. What's up, Satan? Welcome back. Yeah, see, the chat's not working in my Streamlabs software, but this whole new setup for streaming is crazy. It's like, it looks like Streamlabs, but it's so different, too. I'd show you the screen, but it's got some of my personal information, so yeah, that's not happening. This guy's like, I heard the coronavirus originates in closets, and also I heard they target YouTubers. That could be the case. That's why I'm only in part of the closet. I actually had partitioned off, well, I didn't even build anything. We had like a nice little nook in our closet, and this is where all my soundproofing and everything is anyways. Actually, hold on. Let me just turn my cam on so you guys can, I'll just give you a quick little tour. Let me make this bigger though so you guys can actually see. I don't think it's going to fill the screen properly. Okay. So. Stuff up here, that's taller than my head. I don't know if you guys can hear me. I'm not next to my. Got this from a subscriber, Dr. Blue. Shout out to you. And it's hard to aim the camera and know where I'm going. This for Christmas. This from Kiki, another subscriber. She had sent a whole bunch of movies, popcorn, all kinds of stuff with this. Little military stuff. I got this from a buddy. It's a shell casing for a hand grenade. There's nothing in it. Hollowed out. So. But essentially, all those ridges, those are designed to come out like shrapnel. So when this explodes, each of those segments are going to be like essentially kind of like a little mini bullet, quote unquote. And we got my little bobblehead. Got a tank right here. Don't think he's going to fit in there very well. Extra green screen shit. Snow globe from Chicago from Dr. Blue. I shake that every now and then in here. Nice little ashtray. These are what I use for my recording for audio. It spikes, puts a random spike in the audio so I know where I need to edit something out. That's my backup one. Bunch of books. Stephen King. This is something someone made. It's actually, they took me from my live stream and they straight up made this of me. It's got my tattoos and everything. That's a shirt that I actually have with a skull on it. Like my water bottle, my headphones. It's fucking hilarious. They did such a good job. More books. Even got Shaw Silverstein in the corner. Where the sidewalk ends. That's what I'm talking about. Another Chicago item. A tinfoil hat. Conspiracies and all, you know. Gotta put that on every now and then. More green screen stuff. Leftover boxes. Air duster. Oh shit, kicking my mic. Helmet for my electric skateboard. Charger for it as well. My gloves. Yeah, so there's that. And then this is pretty much the whole area around it. This got this on a stand over here. That sound where onto the floor. Put some carpet up in here because we actually have tile. You'll see. Switch over. There and okay. That's a whole tour of the area. I don't know if I've actually showed that off before, but I know I've done like little segments of it. There we go. Loza, thank you very much. Another $1.99 super chat says, where to send fan mail. In the description, you can always find my P.O. box. That's actually where Lord of Shower sent this laptop that he bought me because he's cray-cray. And thanks again. Dr. Blue, what's up? I see you're saying hello to Teddy. Teddy? I haven't seen you up in here, but I know you're here somewhere. What's up, Bad Vibes? Sorry, my chat hasn't been working properly between softwares. I have to keep switching back and forth. So that's why I haven't seen a lot of people, but much love. Yeah, my wife's got the new Stephen King book. That's out in the bedroom, though, so. Loza says, we have the same helmet. Hell yeah, I love that thing. It's got the reflectors on the back, and now that my electric skateboard's out of warranty, I'm going to just customize it. Someone mailed me to my P.O. box, what would Jason do? Jason Voorhees. Fucking badass, too. Didn't leave a name or nothing, so I just randomly came in. I'm going to put that on my skateboard and all kinds of stuff, so. Yeah. Yeah, Lord Shower, you cray-cray. Sky says, 11 out of 10 closet. Yeah, I just didn't show you the other part where all the clothes are and stuff, because my wife's always super sensitive about private things. But she has an entire shelf full of just like Valentine's Day, like I'll buy her stuffed animals, and I always buy those fucking giant, stupid, ridiculous, like what the hell cards. The ones that are like 2.5 foot tall and 1.5 foot wide. I buy those, so she's got a whole bunch of those cards stacked. She's probably got like 5 or 6 of those Valentine cards up there. And then just a whole bunch of animals. And then just a lot of random shit. Pens. I got a whole bunch of little remote control helicopters that I used to fly around. I got a fucking shake weight. I used to send videos to family. I'd be sitting there fucking shaking it in one hand and doing the down angle so it looked like I was jacking off. And then part of the way through, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm just using my shake weight, guys. Man, my family would love the shit out of that. It was funny. Thank you, Tracy. I hope everything goes well for you and your family as well. Sydney says, tell your wife hello. I will when she wakes up. She's asleep. She like stayed up all night to call the dentist, and now she's got like an emergency appointment tomorrow at 9, so she's trying to get a little bit of a nap because she didn't sleep. So I tried to kick her out of the bedroom. I was like, hey, I'm going to be streaming in the closet, so I might be loud. And so, okay. And I was like, okay. The Rooster, thank you so much, dude. Says, love the channel, Urmaker. Keep up the great work. Thanks so much, dude. I hope you're staying safe in these times, and I really appreciate the support. Nightmare says, in my closet with a candle. I had lights in here too, actually, because I would just have all the lights off. Because we used to have fluorescent bulbs, and they would have a buzz in my recording, so I had bought these little lights, but those essentially kind of got stolen from me and turned into guinea pig lights for their bedroom. Yes, the guinea pigs have their own bedroom. And I swapped out fluorescent bulbs for LED bulbs that they have. So these things have no hissing, and I can have them on while I record, which is super cool. Sharita's like, want my kid for a week? I can't even have kids here, not even to visit, because of the Arizona law, and we have a swimming pool, and we don't have a fence around the pool. So that was something they told us moving in. They're like, no kids are allowed to be here. And I was like, awesome. That's a good excuse. And I've been able to use it a few times now. Alyssa's like, do you ever tell your wife scary stories? No. Like, I'll regurgitate them to her, type of thing. But she gets a lot of my fucking random story. I'll just sit out there and just, like, the stories you used to hear at the end of the videos where I make them up. I do that shit just, like, randomly. I've done it for a while. I do it about the cats. I'll just be sitting out there and Tigger walks up and I'll be like, Tigger came out in the deep dark of night to see if he could find any food left behind by Thumper. And he'll walk over to the food bowl or something. I'm just trying to make it some stupid. Alas, Thumper ate all the cat food. So now Tigger must look around and wonder where he can forage. He wants tuna juice, but I'm not getting up to get him tuna juice. No, not at all. That kind of shit. So she gets a lot of that shit, and just funny ass songs. I'll just start singing random shit. Yeah. I guess that answers the question. Do I like Skyrim? I haven't played Skyrim since like the original Morrowind, like when I was a kid, to where you actually got a printout of the map, and that thing was massive, like my friendship for you all. But yeah, I used to have that whole thing. I like it, but I ended up falling out of a lot of games after the military and all that, and it wasn't until I got with my wife that I actually kind of got back into them. I borrowed a Nintendo Wii from my mom because we were bored as shit in our studio apartment when we moved up there. And I tried Call of Duty on that, and I was like, oh damn, this is fun. I missed gaming, so that's when I started gaming again. Yeah, Star, we have a law like that for swimming pools in Arizona, which is really cool. You know, you don't want children running into swimming pools. Teddy got that fat cat right there. That's right, he eat all the food. So how is the stream quality? Is it like actually remaining decent or what? Because I'm curious, because I've not, like on my last laptop, I wasn't able to stream from back here wirelessly. It just wouldn't have the power. It wouldn't have the connection. Bethmont says guinea pig tour. I'll have to set something up like that sometime. I know you guys would dig that. Not right now because it's across the house, but yeah, no, that would be cool. One of these streams. I'm going to try to start streaming a bit more, especially now that I can be in my area and I can figure it all out. But we'll definitely have a guinea pig tour at some point. I had done a video with them in, what was it? It was like freaking 3 or 4 years ago. It was back around that whole Fine Brother Entertainment bullshit that was going on. Yeah, I forget what it was exactly, but I had the guinea pigs there, and they were so tiny. Now they're like fat. Thank you, Amrin. I appreciate the kind words. Says your maker, love your videos. Appreciate that. I saw someone ask if I play Zelda. I haven't played any of those kind of games in a long time. I pretty much just play first-person shooters for the most part. I played a bit of Dead by Daylight, but I don't have room on my PlayStation hard drive, so I had to delete it. Yep. Shells, good to see you. Much love to you and your hubby. I almost said his name, but I don't want to dox you. Yes, it's much better than my car. I hope you guys are doing well out there. Didn't sound like it from your Facebook post, but I'm glad you guys are trying to make the best of it. Definitely an interesting situation for everyone. Sorry to hear hubby did eventually get laid off. Man, been going crazy. Everyone's stealing on toilet paper and shit too. It's so funny. Satan says, yes, the pigs of Guinea. Yes, one is named Nip and one is named Rex. Nightmare, where do I find my 911 calls? I pretty much just look around for crazy stories and shit. Just search around and you'll find what you look for. And then if you learn how to do like a Freedom of Information Act paperwork, you can find like a crime and then just like request the 911 calls that way. I still got to learn that because I want to do that too. Yeah, that's how you do it. Haven't buffered once. Oh, cool. Yeah, I just keep getting all kinds of weird notifications. Like right now it says, please check the video resolution. The current resolution is 1228 by 690, which is not optimal. I don't know why it would be right there anyways. Sydney says, hey, Urmaker, if you ever get it again, I'll play Dead by Daylight with you. Oh, that'd be fun. But yeah, I haven't played it in a long time. I didn't play any of the Gunslinger one, or pretty much since Ghostface, I haven't played. I've just been, especially now, like all I've played is the new Call of Duty Battle Royale. I played a lot of Apex before that, and then I've been tired of Apex. I was just kind of waiting for a better game. I hate the fact that they didn't have solos, so now Call of Duty came out, and I didn't like it the first day because I was so used to Apex, but the second day I started getting the hang of it, and I was like, oh wow, this is actually really fun. It's very well balanced, so that's pretty much what I've been watching. And then they added solo, so even better. AV Watchman said, this virus is full of shit. That's why all the TP's gone. Man, I was grocery shopping, what was it, last week? Might have been. And we weren't in the TP aisle because we don't need any. I've had some for a while. We're good. And I just heard a guy in the next aisle over that was the TP aisle. He's like, what does a guy have to do around here to get some goddamn toilet paper? And the frustration and desperation in his voice made me wish I would have had a couple rolls of toilet paper in my car. I could have been like, yo, meet me in the parking lot. I got you. And have like just a moment of, here's some toilet paper. You better remember that. Type of thing. Yeah. I think one of my buddies' families was the first one to have it in our city, but we didn't have tests, so they ran tests. It was his son, who was like a year old, a little over. They brought him to the ER and did a test for everything except for COVID, and all of it was negative, so they presumed him positive and said, just go home under quarantine, your whole family, for at least 14 days. They went home, and his wife ended up getting sick, so she's really sick now. He hasn't shown any symptoms, and neither has his other son, so. But they were, I think, one of the first cases that were presumed positive. We didn't have a confirmed case till up a few days ago, and then we had the first one in the city. But I'd already told my family and shit that it was already in town. As soon as it hit Vegas, it was here for sure, so. The cart of video says, this quarantine is getting to me. I'm starting to hear voices. Well, you're watching a stream. Someone's talking to you. Of course you're going to hear a voice. You're silly. On a serious note, I hope you just start FaceTiming people. Get your mind off of things. Even get into some video games, you know. As funny as it is, it'll actually help distract you, even if it's something stupid, like Slither.io, you know, just all kinds of shit. It's just going to be a matter of keeping your mind busy. Now's a really good time for a lot of people that have always wanted to have the time to do YouTube videos or be creative. Now's the time to do it. You know, that's why I was even telling my wife, I was like, as bad as this is, I'm going to be super excited to see all the new content that comes out, because all these people that didn't previously have time to put any time into YouTube videos is now going to have an amount of time. So we're going to have some really good creative content here soon, which is very awesome. But yeah, it's just a matter of keeping yourself busy. Try to better yourself for when this is all done too, you know, see what you can do to help yourself, you know, whether it be try to figure out a business model for you or just try to work on yourself during this time. That's all I can really say. I'm going to try to do. Brian says, my brother had a scary run-in with a certain big biker gang in the Arizona desert a few years ago. The infamous MCs started in California. I'm sure you know which one I'm talking about. I do not. I don't know a lot of the crimes here. I haven't really... I've heard of some of like the recent ones and whatnot, but I don't know if you're talking about the gang. It was probably like Hell's Angels or some shit, but I don't know. Honestly, I don't know too much about that shit right there. Key to the TWD says, I want to, but me and my girls are sick and it sucks. Ouch. Yeah, just drink a lot of water, you know, just relax. I know it just sounds generic, but that's all we can really do if you do get sick, even with a regular cold. And it could very well could be what it is. I'm not saying you have coronavirus, but for some reason YouTube doesn't like people talking about that. I keep getting emails from YouTube saying how they were demonetizing people just for saying, you know, coronavirus. So they were demonetizing people about it, and then there was an email that says, well, now that it's staying around, we're going to try to go make it where you can get monetized on it type of thing. And I noticed it on my last stream because I talked about it, and they demonetized the stream, and I was like, okay, whatever. I mean, it would suck if I was a news channel type of thing, so. Very interesting. Brian says, yeah, it was the Hells Angels. Yeah, they're everywhere, up in Oregon too, all that. English Loyalist says, I want to do mostly Navajo history and some Native American battles as a YouTube channel, and I'm stuck working. Ouch, that sucks. Yeah, I mean, just, here's the thing, I was working full-time too when I tried it, and I will tell you, there was 6 months where I would literally, if I was lucky, get 4 hours of sleep. I mean, it's a lot harder if you have a family you're trying to tend to because you have other obligations, but There's always if there's a will, there's a way. Like, those 6 months getting started were so rough. Like, my friends would be like, you look like a zombie. And I'd be like, bro, I feel like one. Because I get done working at the dental lab and go home and just work for another 14, 16 hours on the slowest ass computer. I had 1 gig of RAM on my fastest computer. So it was just crazy. So just all about trying to find time for things, even on your lunch break if you're just writing a little something up, you know. What's my favorite horror game? That's a good question. I don't know. I've never really found too many of them scary. I think that's the issue. I really enjoyed Dead by Daylight in the beginning, before I knew how the game worked. Like, it felt a lot scarier, and then you learn the game, and then you're just like, oh, shit. But I don't know. Good question. Because even old school Resident Evil, I can't really say that was my favorite. They had some really cool cutscenes for back in the day, but yeah. I guess it really just depends. Did you do any sports videos? No. Did I play them? Oh yeah, I played a lot of sports. I would be in the newspaper for soccer when I was a kid. I was a goalie because I'm a tall, lanky motherfucker. So I was goalie, and we'd always be going to the championships. But where we were at in California, it was always rainy by the time of the championship. So 9 times out of 10, they got canceled, and no winner was ever declared. But there was one time it was storming so bad in our city, and we won the last game we needed to, and we all just started sliding on our stomachs. And then we found out the newspaper wanted a picture, so we ended up all just taking our shirts off. So it was just a whole bunch of shirtless kids on the front of the newspaper. It was funny as shit. But yeah, I had trophies out the butthole. I was super athletic. And then I tore my ligaments in middle school. It was another rainy day. Where I lived, it rained a lot. And it was a rainy day, and we were playing this game where everyone's on all hands and knees, and they're lined up. There's like 12 people on one side, and across the room there's 12 people on the other, and there's a giant mat in between. And right in between everyone's a football. And essentially, one person on each side is associated a number. It's counted from 1 to 12. So when they yell 1, if your number's 1, there should be, one person on each side that are going to rush for that ball and try to get it back. So my number got called, and I rushed and I pushed off way too hard on my left leg. And I just completely destroyed my ligaments. Like, they just busted, and that was the worst pain I've ever felt. Like, I just started rolling, and I wasn't even crying, but like tears are just going out of my face. Like, geez, that was horrible. And the teacher just like had me roll aside, and they kept playing and shit. And I was like, God damn, this is fucking painful. And then I went to the doctor, and I guess they gave me a whole bunch of morphine. And then I went home. That was actually my last day of high school at that city in California. And then I got home, and then within a couple days after that, my mom, her husband, and my sisters left the state to go to Oregon. So I was just like chilling at home alone with torn ligaments and shit. I was probably 14, 15, and they were gone a couple weeks or something like that. But we had my neighbor who was keeping an eye on me, so it wasn't like crazy, nothing like that. But yeah, it was fun times. That was the last time I ever went to that school. Sarah says, my mom gave me bronchitis. Well, that's not a very good gift. That's horrible. Have I ever played The Walking Dead by Telltale Games for PS4? No. I don't play too many extra games. Like, once I get on a game, I just play it. Like, the whole reason I got my PlayStation 4 was for Battlefield 4. That was the only reason I got it. I didn't even plan on playing any other games. So, I'm pretty one-sided. Like, I'll play Rocket League every now and then when I want to not play a first-person shooter, but for the most part, I just commit to one game. I don't know. Especially now that I have no room on my hard drive. Like, I have 3 games on there right now. My wife's got one. And she's got a big update coming for her game, and she's all, well, you're going to probably have to delete one of your games. I'm like, hell no, I'm not. Not until we have a new hard drive. Give me a new hard drive. I was like, I'm tired of deleting my goddamn games. These are my goddamn games. I didn't say it like that, but yeah, it was funny. We're going to get her, she plays Fallout 76, so we'll have to probably delete another game. I don't know which one. We're also going to probably just get another hard drive. I don't know. That'll be interesting. I think we were going to look for like it looks like they can take external ones. You just plug it in USB. So we're going to try to get one of those. Yeah. No, I haven't played the new Resident Evil. What's up? It's your mom 17. What's up? Natini, you ever died and resurrected? No idea, dude. No idea. What's up, Izzy Wizzy 2002? Good to see ya. It has been a while. Hope you have been well. The ghost said my dog had babies. I'm not gonna lie, when I first read that, I thought it said my dog had rabies. I was like, oh, that's sad. Babies. That's cool. Racing Zach 28 says, I injured my it band name. Oh, you got injured with your last chance to go to state. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, we just, after I moved schools, I just, we went up to Oregon and I pretty much started hanging out with the wrong crowd. And I started smoking pot and skipping class to smoke pot and doing all that stupid shit. And then I was just like, what am I doing? I'm just going to get my GED. So they had a program where if you do your GED, you get a little bit of college. So I was done with school, I think I was 16. And then I was doing a little bit of college. And I was still a dumb kid that would skip class and go smoke weed. So I ended up joining the military when I was 18. And then I think that kind of at least put me more on a straightened path. So, but unfortunately, all the people I was friends with back in high school when I moved to Oregon, they all got arrested and got crazy into drugs. And yeah, crazy sad to see all that. But yeah. Dustin, thank you, says, your videos are tight. I appreciate that. What's up, Angelica Rocks? Good to see ya. Hope you're having a good day. Tracy says, read more, please. Let me see. I am reading comments, LV. But people are asking questions, so I'm answering questions. Y'all are very demanding. Read stories. Do I look like a bitch to you? Can't even see my screen. I was so zoomed in. Here we go. Here's one about someone with an old lady. There you go. We'll read this, but I'm gonna drink more of my beer. I'm good, Shadow Lioness. Thank you for asking. All right, this one's submitted on Let's Not Meet by Gary Hinman, and it's titled, What Could Go Wrong If I Give a Ride to an Old Lady? This happened to my aunt in the 80s. She lives in rural Germany. Once in the middle of nowhere, she saw an old lady trying to hitch a ride. When she stopped for her, the granny hopped in without saying a word. She was wearing sunglasses and a headscarf. Suddenly, my aunt noticed something about her arm. It was muscular and hairy. The old lady was a man. She told him to put his handbag in the trunk. When he got out of the car to do so, my aunt hit the gas and drove off. After a few miles, she noticed that the handbag was still in her car. So then she decided to put it aside on the side of the road for Mr. Granny to find. It was oddly heavy. She opened it. Inside there was nothing but a small axe. Edit. As it turned out, this probably didn't actually happen. Apparently, this is one of many variations of a quite well-known urban legend from the 80s. Thanks, commenters. Oh, this dude shared something that he thought was his fucking aunt's story, and then Reddit was just like, hey, you know that that's some bullshit, right? Yeah, Izzy Wizzy. Izzy Wizzy was a bear. Izzy Wizzy had no hair. Or was it Fuzzy Wuzzy? Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. That was the whole play off of it. I've seen The Lion King, of course. The original, not the remakes. See, this is kind of why I stopped doing the stories. They're all just like, creepy dude was looking at me. Creepy dude was looking. Okay, we'll check this one out. Another high-rated one. It was submitted on Let's Not Meet 2 days ago by We London. It's titled, People Can Be Absolutely Creepy. Hi, I'm a 24-year-old dad living in the UK. I work as a pharmacist at a hospital and I usually do night shifts. My workplace is just a few lots away from home, so I just walk every night. A few moments ago, while I was on my way to work around midnight, a car stopped in front of me and rolled down his window. The guy inside was wearing a scrub suit, so I'm assuming he was a nurse. Had dark hair, chubby, and is probably around my age. Hey, where you heading? Let me drive you to work. I politely declined. The guy looks harmless, and I guess being polite wouldn't hurt. He looked pretty normal, but there was something in his eyes that unsettled me. He didn't go away after that, and kept on insisting to drive me to work. That's when I snapped and told him that I was waiting for my boyfriend, which isn't true because my boyfriend is in the United States, miles away from me. He seemed to believe in it and just drove away. Days passed and I got a chat request. I tried to check the profile and saw that it was the creepy lad offering me a ride to work. How had he got my name? I had no idea. I didn't pay his chat any attention and just went on with my pretty busy life. 2 days after that, I got another message from him saying, "You were smiling earlier. Oh, you look cute." After reading that message, it felt like I had been splashed with an ice-cold bucket of water. Was he at the hospital? I didn't want to know. I told him to stay away from me and F off. Days passed, and I almost forgot about this guy when I saw him standing in the hallway looking at me while I was exiting one of the rooms doing rounds. He tried to approach me, but I beelined my way to the other hallway and went back to the pharmacy. That's when I started to freak out and told my boyfriend. He advised me to just drive to work instead of walking, and I did right after that night. I also blocked him to avoid any unwanted future creepy messages. So far, it's been months, and I want him to keep away. Yes. What's up, Joshua? Good to see you. Lord Shower says, I'm not trying to focus on the virus, but it's hard whenever I go online. Wish there was something out you could say to just comfort people. Yeah, unfortunately, everyone's got their own issues with it. It's crazy. Sometimes I'll get super distracted. Like, even now I haven't really thought about it in a while. But, like I'll play a video game or something, and then I'll get done, and then I'll go look at something online, and I'll be like, oh yeah, we're living with a virus right now. That's right. I fucking forgot. Sydney says, have you seen or read Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark? Yeah, I watched the movie. Yeah. Seemed pretty cool. AAA is like, bro, you don't have to hide in the closet. But I'm stuck in the closet. Maybe someday I'll come out of the closet. But for now, I'm in the closet. What's up, Siobhan? Good to see you. I hope you're having a wonderful time in Chicago. Wonderful time. Yes. Just in time, because I'm probably going to end the stream here in a few minutes. I've been live. Yeah, almost an hour. I wanted to just test all this shit out and see if I could stream from back here, because I didn't know if I'd be able to. So, seems like everything's went pretty well. I'm going to go watch it back and make sure it's all good. Thank you, Donna. I'm glad you enjoy the content. Lord of Shower says, you should try reading some of the classics, public domain stuff like from Poe. That stuff can be pretty creepy if done right. Yeah, I had thought about that, but also, like, a lot of the language is lost on a lot of people. You know what I mean? So, the way, I don't know if you saw when I did my tour, I have, you know, actual crow up there with the Edgar Allan Poe thing on there. And that skull actually lights up, the eyes glow red too. Forgot to show that. It's pretty fucking cool. Oh, bro, I don't even remember what Doug Funny sounds like. I haven't seen that in so long, man. Patty mayonnaise. Focus Skeeter. Yeah, so I probably should wake up my wife anyways. I was talking with Lord of Shower the other day. I think it was around this time. Oh no, it was like 4. And I was like, yeah, I should go wake up my wife. Seems like that's what I'm always ending to go do. But she's got to get up. She's got an appointment early in the morning. So, yeah. Appreciate y'all dropping in, saying what's up. Glad we got this figured out because I really didn't know how the new streaming works. Well, with the new analytics layout and everything. Yeah. So, I hope everyone has a wonderful night. Stay safe. Wash your nasty hands. Sanitize your nasty carts because a lot of people aren't going to do that for you. And hold your breath and you won't get sick. Air is a crutch for the weak. That's what I like to think about it. You know, so just remember that. You don't need to breathe. You need to live. Catch you all later. And bad bye. I wonder if I can actually end the stream from here.